Hi, Will here from MusicTech at the Summer NAMM show in Nashville, Tennessee with Henry French from Solomon Mics. Henry French, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good to see you.
So, we've seen the LoFreq before, the kick drum mic.
LoFreq is doing well, doing pretty well.
It seems to be very popular.
I like to think so.
Excellent. And you've got a new thing which is designed to do something slightly different. Again, a band-limited microphone essentially, but using a speaker.
It's a variation. I like to call it a riff on the same idea. Much like the LoFreq, the MidFreq, which we're releasing here at Summer NAMM 2019, same idea, kind of shifted up in the frequency range. So say 100 hertz to about 4K, give or take in that range. So a little bit higher than the LoFreq, not quite as low as the LoFreq, still intended to work alongside another microphone, but more than anything else, letting each mic do what it does best. In this case, it works in its mids and low mids, and let your other mics work in the high mids and the highs. You get a wide swath of information to work with.
Let's hear it in action then, shall we?
We should, absolutely. So what we'll do is this. We'll go ahead and play both of these together and then switch each one out so you can hear what it does individually.
I'm going to put these on.
So, starting with, this is with the MidFreq with guitar. In this case, a Les Paul Jr. into a 1484 Silvertone head and a 1x15 cabinet. So both of them together, and you're seeing the response from the MidFreq, which is going all the way up into the 2K range right there. So now muting the MidFreq, this is just the SM57. It's a pretty standard response from SM57. Putting the MidFreq back in, you'll hear that kind of low end return to it. It's a wider set of information. And then removing the 57, you hear the kind of rumble. That it's described a lot as letting something breathe. When you're getting a little bit wider, a little bit more of a movement of air kind of response to it.
Yeah.
So that's the basics of it. That's what the MidFreq is about.
And in terms of positioning, where would you put that?
In this case, what we did just to accentuate the idea of a dark mic, using the MidFreq as the dark mic and then the other one kind of shine in the mids and highs, the SM57 was just off axis, and this was just off of the valley between the cone and the actual side of the cone itself, the dome and the cone.
Right.
But like I said before, at the end of the day, if it's treated like a microphone, a lot of people see what we do and they say, well, that's a kick drum implement. Well, that's got to be used for a floor tom because it's smaller and it just produces low end. At the end of the day, they are microphones. So that same thing, and the way that it's working with the guitar cab, could easily do the same thing on the side of a snare and add that kind of body to the side of the snare. And it's not that it's making that, the instrument is producing that information. The question is, are your microphones picking that up in conjunction with other microphones around it? LoFreq works great on a Leslie, on the lower half of a Leslie. Works on a bass cab. The microphones are doing their own thing. You basically allow each one to do what it does best and then work that information into whatever configuration is needed for that kind of music.
Very cool. And how much is this going to cost then, and when will it be available?
So it should be available right at the end of August is when we're starting to ship on the MidFreq. And it's $179, so just a little bit less than the LoFreq. And yeah, we're really psyched. We've had a really good response for this, and I'm glad to see that people are kind of buying into the, it's a little bit of an oddball idea, but it's a good response.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Henry. It's a really interesting thing.